Hey, this is Navid from Oud for Guitarists. Today I've got a very special guest on our Oud Talks interviews. This is Chris Stevens. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He plays oud, he plays tar, and he's going to give you some valuable insights about this musical culture, which I'm sure you're going to find very inspiring.
So I guess my journey into like non-Western music started around the year 2000 or so. I was a guitar player
Yeah,
originally, and I was in like the jam band style of scene, and really liked jazz and other sort of instrumental focused music that sort of deviated from the mainstream, but was still within my own culture indefinitely. But
right.
and then one pivotal day, um, I heard um, Bela Fleck. I don't know if you know him or not. He's a banjo.
Yes, yeah, I've heard of, yeah.
He put an album out with Vishwa Mohan Bhatt, who is an
Yeah,
Indian slide guitar player,
yeah, yeah,
and Jai Bing Chen, who is an Erhu player from China.
right.
This album called Tabula Rasa was really,
Mm,
I was on this path, and then after that album, I took this path.
yeah,
Um, so the way that they sort of blended music together was really enticing to me. It was very beautiful
right.
and felt kind of important almost. It had a sense of like good to it. It wasn't just like entertainment like most music has been. This was like saying something really important and being really beautiful at the same time. So
Yeah,
the banjo mixing with Indian music and Chinese music, and then after that, um, I heard so that introduced me to Indian music, and so I was a sitar
yeah,
player for exclusively for about 10 or so years. And my the first time I heard the oud was with Simon Shaheen and Vishwa
yeah.
Mohan Bhatt, who put an
Ah,
album
okay.
called Sultana, who
Yeah, yeah,
playing the oud and the violin in the Arabic style, and Vishwa Mohan Bhatt is playing
yeah,
in the Indian style. And this, they kind of like named the pieces like Rag Kirwani and
right.
Makam Nahawand. There's the
Yeah.
same, like, I was like, so what, these are the same? What are they saying? So this really intrigued me.
Mm. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and so and then the sound of the oud, especially Shimon Shaheen, it was just
yeah,
otherworldly. It's like, okay, well, I mean, obviously these are all connected. There's some like thread
right.
that tangles through these.
Yeah,
And then that got me into exploring other forms of music, Middle Eastern music specifically, because that kind
yeah,
of introduced me to the idea that the sitar, which had been my exclusive instrument for a while now,
mm,
um, was influenced by Persia and other cultures nearby. And
right.
my sitar teacher at the time, Ustad Imran Khan Sahab, his nephew
Mm,
Shujat Khan, made an album with Kayhan Kalhor,
yeah, I love that album.
um,
Yeah,
Ghazal, The Rain. This
yeah,
is a
yeah,
sitar and kemanche together. And so
yeah,
this was my introduction to Persian music.
right.
And
That's a good
after that,
introduction.
oh, it's a
Yeah,
phenomenal introduction.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the best. And they're blending their cultures together again.
yeah,
It's like Raga
yeah,
Kirwani, it's called Dasgah Isfahan or something like that. The
right.
same sort of modal structure, lots of improv, lots of like
Yeah,
telepathic communication going
yeah, yeah,
on. You get to like these split second like snapshots into the mind of a musician in the flow state of playing an instrument
yes,
superbly,
yeah,
extremely skillfully. And then I just sort of went and got into Persian music as well. And
very cool.
that, yeah, and then that also introduced me. I kind of went into Chinese music and Japanese music as well because um, there was a pipa player, this instrument here,
Yeah,
who played with a sitar player, Shubhendra Rao. This is Gao Hong. They made a sitar and pipa fusion. So I've just kind of been inspired by musicians who
right.
like their distant instruments together. And I love to go down like Wikipedia history rabbit holes and all these like
Yeah,
tracing back the Silk Road and like old paintings
right.
of instruments and statues and stuff. And it was just like, I don't know, it feels very it feels like very like instinctual, but also like so niche, to like discover these connections between instruments and cultures and sort of transcend. It's like the phrase like music is a human language gets thrown around a lot, but this is
Right.
like really honing in on that and saying that like it's actually a bit more of a than a language is, because there's like exclusivity, like two languages can't speak to each other, like
Right.
but two instruments can speak to each other. So there's this like huge like connection that can be made. And me as an outsider completely, I'm able to understand all of this just from like years and years of being a musician, training my ear to hear
There you
what
go.
intervals sound like. Just being able to hear, you usually have like a tonic, a solid note that all the other notes are in relation to. This is something that's true of most non-Western music, even some Western music. So once you are able to like hear that, then you can just kind of listen to a piece and know what they're playing. This was really fascinating to me.
Yeah, that's a big step for every musician when they start to key into that, and all of a sudden it's like unlocking a door, and then I know it. Okay, if you can pinpoint that, and then they expand from there, and then you can figure out the rest of the notes, and then you're kind of like in this secret little realm of what people are doing, and these musicians. You're in there all of a sudden. It's a great feeling. Yeah,
and you can sort of, no matter what the musical setting or what the scene, you can always like hear what like the perfect fit sounds like that is just a solid like ingrained sound that always sounds the same. It's like this perfect harmony. And a lot of the world's music uses the same basic intervals, and then there's like Yildirim music, which has these extra intervals, which is what really drew me into like really figure out these, beyond the 12-tone system, which even Japanese and Chinese music only use 12 tones, even Indian music really. But Persian, Arabic, Turkish music, there's these extra set of notes, which I just fell in love with. Whole thing. It's like discovering a new color or a new like flavor or something. You just like want to consume it. So you like figure it out. It's like making new neural pathways in your brain or something to
totally. It's interesting to hear that perspective, because for me, like I grew up with Persian music, so it was always around me. I heard those tones, but I didn't really know what I was hearing. So it wasn't like all of a sudden tasting something new and then trying to figure out what that is. It was just always there. I started as a santur player, so you have all the notes in front of you. They're all tuned, and your teacher tunes them for you, and you're kind of just fed those in those intervals. You don't search for them. So like it was a different experience for me. I didn't really experience that kind of thing until I started to explore different intervals that are found in Arabic music and Turkish music, and having to search for those and find those, and failing and trying again and trying again. So that's really interesting
I still haven't quite figured it all out, especially like
for sure
all the comma system of the Ottoman, the kanun, all the different flavors and shades of every note, 50 whatever intervals. That's still super interesting for me to listen to, because I don't know what they're doing. But
very
with
cool.
Persian music, it was a bit more, I don't know, user friendly, or I could hear the same motifs and intervals being repeated. And I got a tar in about 2015, I believe. It's been about 10 years I've been learning. And just having the frets there is really helpful. On Zoom, you're like, where is this note? I don't know. You can put your finger anywhere between these two notes and find it. So that was.
What did you get into first? The oud? What came first, the oud or the tar?
So the timeline goes like this. I got a sitar in about 2002. Then I got an oud in around 2014.
Okay.
The first other instrument was an oud. And then 1 year later, I got a pipa and started learning Chinese music. And then I got a tar and started learning Persian music. And then from the tar, Um, I got what was next after the tar? After the tar, I got a balama, a saz, and got
Oh
into
yeah, yeah.
Anatolian, like Turkish Kurdish music.
Mm.
And then the last instrument I got, which was in 2020 or so, I believe 2021, was the shamisen. That's my final
Oh
instrument.
yeah,
And
very cool.
there's still more I want to get. I want to get
Yeah.
a rabab and learn some Afghan music.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Yeah, I love robot myself, and I used
Yeah.
to I had one from a friend, like just borrowing. I used to play some music with his family. Would play music from Balochistan, and so they use robot primarily in some of
Yes.
their music, and so I just loved having it. It was a garbage instrument, but
Yeah.
it was missing sympathetic strings. I mean, didn't know how to like replace them or anything.
Right.
But from what it did, just from being that what it was just so fun to play. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I want to get my hands on one myself.
Yeah.
Just
If it
haven't
had a
gotten
good
around
skin,
to it.
chances are it sounded good or it was fun to play. It's all in the skin of the instrument.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that'll
cool.
probably be my next one. Probably not going to
Yeah.
get it for a while. I have so much to work through with these seven I have already. So.
Yeah, that's definitely more than I would want to chew myself. That's pretty cool that you got into all those. What about your first oud? You got one in 2014. So by then, I guess it was may have been a bit easier to find an oud online, maybe by that time.
So actually, I had a electric keyboard and
Yeah.
looping station and all kinds of electronic equipment that I traded somebody for their oud in my town. I found them on like Marketplace or
Oh,
something.
nice.
They were like they had an oud and they were like I would already wanted one. I was playing
Yeah.
like trying to play like Hijaz on my guitar and stuff,
Mhm,
but I
mhm.
needed those extra microtones. So I was like, I just have to get an oud, and
Yeah.
yeah, I just happened to find one. There was, a guy here in my town who was interested in getting a piano, and I was interested in getting a oud, so we traded.
Perfect.
We totally
Yeah.
just swapped cultures because he was from the Middle East and he wanted a piano, and so yeah, we traded.
Perfect.
It was not a great instrument, it was one of those
Yeah.
like Jira style ouds, but I had never played one before, so I wanted to not invest too much.
Yeah.
After that, I got one from the Ali Khalifa family,
Oh yeah.
like a
Yeah.
Damascus style. And
Yeah.
I had that one up until this winter when I gave it to one of my oud students who needed a new instrument, and I got myself
Yeah.
a different one from Sala Music in Istanbul.
Yeah. Cool.
And I love it. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. Is that the one you were playing in the recent video I saw with oud and tar?
Yeah, so that's the only one. I only have one oud now.
Okay, cool.
It's around here somewhere. I have it somewhere. Yeah, it's purple. It has like a purple wood that it's made of, which
Right.
really unheard of for an oud to not be like walnut or something,
Yeah.
But it's a modern one, and
Nice.
it's cool.
Yeah, cool. Very good. And did you teach yourself oud? I'm sure you probably taught yourself a bunch of things first, but did you ever get a teacher?
No, I didn't ever get a teacher to teach me how to play the oud specifically.
Okay, cool.
So I learned a lot from just practicing, and that it's pretty hard in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I already played
Big
guitar.
learning curve.
The tuning isn't too different. I mean, it is different, but it has the D, it has the A, D, G
There you go.
set of notes.
Yeah.
So I was already used to some of those shapes. But no, I completely taught myself.
Very cool.
Some of my first inspirations for how to play the oud and what style of oud I wanted to play was Munir Bashir. So I actually tuned with high F at the beginning.
Yeah.
And was really listening to a lot of his music because, he had this album called Ragas to Makams or something like that.
Yes, yeah.
And he, his style of playing was very captivating to me back then. He was very slow and improvised, mostly completely taksim. and a lot of his style is what I was trying to emulate. But later on, I started tuning to the standard Arabic, tuning my string that was tuned to C, tuned it down to A, and took my high F off and put a bass string on, and started playing some of the more Arabic standard pieces, and started watching videos by Sami Abu Shumais.
Oh yeah.
Learn some of the techniques of like the canon, the repertoire of Arabic music, and actually got to play with him and his band in New York for a while.
Nice.
And so I learned a lot of songs in order to prepare for those gigs.
For sure, yeah.
I was usually, I was more focused on improvisation up until that point. That was just sort of like what I always gravitated towards. That's what brought me into Indian music and Persian music. And having to learn these compositions was really a new adventure for me.
Yeah.
But after I did it a few times, I was like, oh, okay, I see this pattern. Like the semi has this pattern. It's like intro and thing, it repeats and switches to a different maqam, goes to upper, higher the register. There's always these patterns that you can just sort of intuit. It's like a second sense. And once you get your ear trained, it only takes a few times for me to like listen to a song before I'm able to play it.
There you go.
I don't read music or sheet music or anything, so I just listen. I just listen to what the song sounds like. Yeah. Preferably, if I can get my hands on like multiple versions of a piece, then I can really like piece together like what it's supposed to sound like and put it together in my head.
Yeah.
So that
very cool.
Yeah. So now I just like love learning compositions instead of improvisation. Yeah. I still love to improvise.
Interesting.
Yeah. The fun has switched to like collecting as many pieces I can learn as I can.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
And improvising
what instrument?
Play a concert. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, say that again.
And so when you have a composition, you can improvise between them when I'm playing a live concert or something like that. So you have an improv, you play a composition, you improvise, play a composition.
Yeah.
And I did have a tar teacher who taught me a lot about Persian music and playing the tar. That's Ustad Muharram Khani, who's a student of Hossein Zarif.
Yeah.
He has a really beautiful style of playing the tar, kind of similar to Farhang Sharif. Very soft, plucking, Ali Zadeh is another favorite tar player of mine, but he just plays so fast and hard. And
it's very aggressive,
Yeah, very aggressive, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of drawn to the more Jalil Shahnaz style of playing, very subtle, very poetic, very light. And, So he's
I can totally understand.
Some of the more important boucher. I love the radif just as a concept in general. It's just very, it's very interesting to think about this style of music, this like compromise between improvisation and composition.
Right.
So whereas like Indian music is like 99% improvised, and like Arabic music, especially if you're playing in like a takht ensemble, is like mostly memorized.
Right.
Persian is like right in the middle, and it's like halfway both. It's just really cool to think about how it works out. Like, so they're
indeed
improvising compositions, kind of is sort of how I've wrapped my head around it, because I still have a million questions about the radif, because it's just
of course
it's a very deep thing.
It's very vast as well, and there's multiple versions. Yeah. So it's still yet one cohesive thing.
Right.
It's interesting.
Yeah. It is. It's
did you... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's a very unique way of preserving music, but also keeping it fresh.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This might... that experience experiencing these different like musical cultures and the people in the culture too. Did you what kind of cultural shocks or like surprises did you encounter learning Arabic music, Persian music, and Indian music? Given that you had teachers, what surprised you, or what made light bulbs go off, or anything that discouraged you? Even Did you experience anything like that?
Yeah, so a lot of, I guess, I haven't really had many like cultural shocks, really. Most of the people are very inviting and very
Yeah.
like welcoming into this, art form. I think because it's so rare and,
Right.
for someone to get into it is like a good thing.
Right.
Especially not an old person. It's like
Yeah.
it's going out of style. I mean,
Right.
it among the youth. But a lot of the things that kind of surprised me about, especially Persian music, when I was taking tar lessons.
Mm.
So there was just like so many little tiny things that I wouldn't have known had it not been slowed down and like, broken down into its like millisecond parts. So there's some techniques that I didn't even realize were happening just listening to the radif. But having a teacher like slow it down and repeat certain parts over and over again. So some of the little techniques, like flicking your finger on the string to instead of plucking, just like this little ding sound. This is something that I didn't really pick up on just listening to it. Yeah, this is also a technique that's used in the shamisen, like this type of thing.
Right.
Using your pinky, and you're plucking the string out. So this is something that happens on the tar, and that was something that it's a technique I'm still struggling with to get down. Also, the tar has double strings, so you would hold down one note on one string and one note on another string, and you're able to play two notes on one chord, which sounds very harsh, but it's so minuscule. It's so tiny of a sound that having a teacher really helped me. And the fact that they're counting so much, it just has a flow to it. When you listen to it, you're just like, this is just a flowing piece. But no, actually they're counting so intricately. They're counting the ease technique where you're going da 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 da. They're keeping track of how many of those they're doing, whereas when you're listening, you're just like, this just sounds like a flow, but no, they're counting to like 10 or something. So that was something that was really cool for me to get broken down, because these are things that just go missing when you're trying to teach yourself,
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. That's interesting. I never thought of that really, because a lot of teachers might, especially of this tradition, might say that like, ear is king kind of thing, or like using your ear, but that you experienced some downside or drawback of just using your ear versus having someone to show you the details. Yeah, that's something I didn't think of. So that's interesting.
The ear is good, but it can only go so far when the music is so intricate and complex and fast.
Right.
It's like it's moving faster than your mind can comprehend in the split second.
Right.
So having to slow it down, break it down, here's what's happening, really slowly, was invaluable.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. And that's true of all the music that I play as well,
Yeah.
It can be very fast, and it's easy to just like simplify things as you hear them, but really paying attention. And this is the joy of the music, is just like super intense listening,
Yeah.
It's a very mental process, active listening.
Yeah, exactly. It's so important.
Yeah.
Do you have like a musical tradition that you, I guess, something that is kind of it comes out the most in your playing, because it's like you're playing different musics, and like I know from my own experience being a Persian musician and then getting exposed to Arabic and Turkish music, was enough of a shock to me in different approach and different sound, and that I really felt like it was outside of, it wasn't very close to what I knew, even though it is so close, like share some of the same kind of scales and modes, even some of the same intonations sometimes, and it's so close, yet I still felt like it was completely foreign to me. and doing that, like when I play, like Arabic music or Turkish music, the Persian side of me comes out,
Right.
and that always colors whatever I do, no matter what I do. And I've had to accept that about my playing, and that I'm never going to get rid of that. It's just there because it's there, and that's me.
Right.
And I have to use that to my advantage. I can't just copy somebody. What for you, like playing all these different types of music, like what is it for you that comes out the most, or like kind of keeps on sticking its head up here and there?
Right, like my accent.
Yeah, your accent, right?
If you learn any language, you're always going to have your mother tongue accent.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I played the sitar for so long. It's been like 25 years.
Okay.
I kind of treat all these instruments as different versions of the sitar almost.
Yeah.
Where you rely on your drone a lot. If I were to like pick something that kind of exemplifies this, it would be this pattern. And this is also a pattern that's in jazz, where it's a repetition. You end your phrase in a repetition of 3. It's called a T-high. And so this is just a habit that is just so ingrained in me that it comes out all the time. If I'm improvising on the oud or the balama or the sitar, I tend to end things on a repetition of 3. This is a pattern that's really deep in Indian music. If you listen to a lot of Indian music, you'll hear that a lot of the phrases end on a motif that repeats 3 times. Very clear. This is on purpose. So that's just sort of a habit that probably comes out unconsciously or just,
Very interesting.
A lot of playing of the open drone strings is another thing that sort of is just sort of a habit. So I think probably the sitar is the instrument that I'm most like that comes out unconsciously or something through all the instruments. Just because I've been a sitar player for more than anything else.
Very cool. Nice. Tell us about your own music and what you do with music. I know you play gigs from your social media, where can people listen to your music? Where are you based?
I'm in Columbia, Missouri, and I play a lot of shows in St. Louis, Missouri, and Kansas City.
Oh, cool.
Just kind of around the Midwest. If you look at me online, you'll see I have a lot of gigs that happened in New York. I've lived in New York for a while. But now I'm back home in Missouri, and I teach here at a music school, Compass Music.
Oh, nice.
And I'm always looking for new students to learn all these instruments. And I have some sort of gigs that happen annually. I play at Chinese New Year. I play at Persian New Year. I play at some of the festivals that happen around the Midwest, multicultural festivals. I try to reach out to universities and libraries and museums to have programs. These are kind of the institutions I gravitate towards.
Very cool. Very awesome.
Around Missouri. I'm on the Missouri Arts Council. I've recently started teaching school programs where I go into schools and do like an assembly show, and the kids just love it. So cool. Because middle schoolers are just like all over the place, energetically. But when I start to play this music or start to explain about these instruments, they're like fascinated. They're like fixated and quiet and attentive. And that's the ultimate compliment. I couldn't imagine a better accolade than the attention of a middle schooler being held for more than a minute. So I've recently been doing that. I got my accreditation to do school programs. I've done 3 of them this year so far. I'm hoping to do more.
Nice. That's great.
I've played at anywhere that'll take me. Nursing homes, farmers markets, anywhere.
Fantastic. When you go and do these gigs, are you, of course, if you're doing Persian New Year, you're going to play tar. But what kind of determines what instruments you bring, and how do you like put together a set, and how do you choose stuff to go together with that? How do you make it cohesive, or is it all just like, this is what I do on oud, this is what I do on tar, this is shamisen, you know, like how do you?
It depends on the gig. It depends on if I'm going to be introduced, or if there's a printed out program that people will receive, and I'll put a lot of planning into what I'm doing. I'll make a set list ahead of time. If it's kind of an informal gig where I'm just kind of out in the crowd, like at a festival or something, I'll just play whatever I want, you know. You know, it depends a lot on, you know, like I said, what I'm doing. So at the Chinese New Year, I'm only playing the pipa. At Nowruz, I'll be playing tar. I'll be playing the oud, which I call the barbat, and I'll play balama, which I'll call the saz. So
cool.
Yeah, we have, you know, they read Hafez, you know, they do some poetry. If I have some friends who, you know, we know some of the same songs, you know, we'll play like Sahar or something like that. So it helps to know, you know, it's always important for me to learn as many songs as possible. So in case I ever get to collaborate with someone, they'll know the song we have in common. I played Sima Bina's Nowruz song, you know, before. Just kind of depends on what the gig is. But
Very
you know,
cool.
mostly it's just whatever I want to play.
That's an interesting point you made about like repertoire and like stuff that you can play with other people. How long do you think it took you from the Middle Eastern instrument perspective, like before you were like, okay, I've got like a bunch of songs that I know everybody else knows, kind of thing. I've got this down. I know if I'm put in a group of like Arab musicians, I can be like, you know this song? Okay, I know this song. You can play it, or like we can jam and stuff like that. I know for myself, it took like at least a good 10 years before I had like a core repertoire of Arabic music that I could be like, okay, I know everybody knows this, but for you, how was the experience?
So I didn't start learning pieces until, you know, after I had gotten comfortable enough just with the fingering and the picking and the posture and everything, and being comfortable enough improvising, just you know, getting used to where the notes are is enough to start out learning. So I'd say after about probably 2 years or so, I learned, the first piece I learned was Semi Bayat Yildirim.
Cool.
I was lucky enough that in Sammy Shume's band, they have an Excel spreadsheet of every song I know how to play. So I could just pick. I picked as many as I could and learned a lot of them. And that was an invaluable resource. And it still is, you know, these are just sort of the canonical pieces. And you know, that's also kind of informed by, you know, if you listen to enough of the music, you hear the same songs. So this is kind of evidence that a lot of people know this song. Or if there's lots of, you know, videos about it, or you know, if you see someone famous playing it, then this is like a good indicator that this is like an established.
There you go.
That a lot of people will know. But on they're called the Brooklyn Maqam Hang. They have a website that has this Excel spreadsheet of all the pieces they know, and that's like this is just the master list of all the pieces you need to know.
Cool.
You know,
cool.
like
that's a good resource.
Nice.
Excellent.
So that was invaluable. I just picked some tunes from that one.
Very cool. Good.
Yeah. I wish everyone had one of those. Like, these are the most important songs. Yeah.
Totally.
It's like 50 songs. You learn these.
Yeah.
You know, you can say that, you know, you can join a band or something.
Right. True. Which music did you find was the easiest to access of, let's say, all of these, but in particular like Arabic music on the oud or Persian music on tar and oud?
It's, I don't know. I would actually reverse your question and say the hardest ones to access are Japanese music of the shamisen and the pipa of China.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of the repertoire of the Balama is kind of very, like, I don't know, not very easy to find.
Yeah.
I
I'm
sort
sure
of
not much is notated, huh?
not much is notated at all, especially the kind
Yeah.
of music that I like for the Balama, which is like the
Yeah.
Zabiki music of the Zabiks.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like 9/8 instrumental pieces that go with
Yeah.
dancing.
Yeah.
Um, Usually from like Southwest Turkey. This is like my
Yeah.
favorite kind of music from Turkey.
Cool.
And there's nothing out there on it online hardly.
Yeah.
Um, you have like Erdal Erzincan,
Yeah.
Çetin Akdeniz. These are the number one players of this genre, and they branch out beyond that a lot too. But yeah, Arabic music is uh, surprisingly easy to navigate online.
Mhm.
The Maqam World website by Johnny
Yes.
Faraj is, I mean, invaluable. Also,
Yeah.
the Mike's Oud forum is the place I hang out a lot. I
Absolutely.
used to hang
Yeah.
out there a lot every day. I would check the forums, just refreshing every day, trying to find new topics to go,
Yeah.
explore. Your YouTube channel is invaluable to me as well. I watched all of
Right.
the Oud for guitarist videos I could when I was first learning, and
Cool.
there's a lot of recordings out there. So
Yeah.
it's definitely established
Definitely.
enough
Yeah.
for an outsider to just kind of, ease their way in online.
Yeah.
It helps a lot to learn the Arabic script.
Yeah, that's a
How
good
to read
point.
and write the Arabic script. You don't have to be fluent in the language because the grammar is just
Yeah.
like one of the most
Yeah.
difficult in the world. But being able to search for Arabic terms and
Yes. Yeah.
names, especially
Yeah.
on like YouTube or Spotify or something, you'll get way more
Yeah.
results than in
There you
English,
go.
and there'll be more authentic resources as well.
Yeah.
So that
It's a great point.
it took me a while to get the script learned, but I can fully read and write
Nice.
in the Arabic and Farsi script now, and so that
Cool.
has opened up a whole other world
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
access.
That's great.
Yeah,
I applaud you
and
for that
Indian
because it's
music is
no
everywhere
easy
too.
task for sure, right?
I mean, I don't know. It kind of came to me because I was very determined.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just sort of like focused on it for a while,
Yeah.
and it eventually just kind of came together. And there's very
Yeah.
few things that now I can not read. I mean, it's so complicated of
Yeah.
a script that there's all these little
Yeah.
exceptions, especially in Arabic. The Persian, language sort of uses the Arabic script, but
Mhm.
their grammar isn't as tied up with it. It doesn't have all the
Right.
little hamzas and kafras and all this
Yes.
stuff. So, and also Indian music, there's just a ton of information about that online. I feel like
Yeah.
it's probably the most familiar to the West,
Right.
kind of Ravi Shankar, the Beatles kind
Yeah.
of thing. Sort of opened it up, in the 60s, and so people have been interested in Indian music
Mhm.
in the West, and so there's lots of info about it out there,
Yeah.
or lots of writings and blogs and videos, and everybody's kind
Yeah.
of familiar with it enough. And there's
Yeah.
lots of non-Indian sitar players as well,
Yeah. Yeah.
whereas
Oh,
a lot of
there's
the
so
other
many.
instruments are not
Right.
the case. There's very few non-Iranian tar players.
That's
Even
true.
more
Yeah.
so with the pipa and shamisen and a lot of the other instruments.
Yeah.
They're not as familiar outside of their home, so they're kind of less English language resources about it.
Yeah. These are all kind of really modal traditions. They all use musical modes and stuff.
Right.
Being a guitar player, being a Western musician,
Yeah.
they all have their own accent, their own kind of language, vocabulary, all that, and their own grammar in the music.
Yes.
Did you find that any of them were like more easier for you as a Westerner to get the phraseology or whatnot, or were they all kind of all over the place?
Yeah, it kind of does just happen over time, that you learn all these little embellishments, these little subtle, nuanced little ornaments, little tiny little
Yeah.
ornamentations, that, at first I would hear something and I would just hear the notes that are being played. Then you listen more and you're like, oh, there's actually a little thing there, or a little trill here, a
Yeah.
little like vibrato there, just tiny little
Yeah.
subtle things. And that's just like my
Yeah.
favorite thing about the music. It's just like
Yeah.
you can listen to it over and over again and still get new things that you didn't hear.
Oh,
As far as
totally.
like
Yeah.
trying to or which one was like the easiest to replicate or like pick up on, they were
Yeah.
all sort of equal. They all like
Mm.
something that all this music has in common is that it seeks to like decorate the music in like just so many ornaments
Mm.
and
Yeah.
tiny little, decorative things. Whereas like
Yeah.
on the sheet music, you would see just like these notes, but if you listen to it, they're like, there's so much more happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, each one has its own way of doing that was really hard to translate into like words or written score. It's
Yeah.
and everyone does it differently. That's why, because everyone has their own
Right.
style. Um, so yeah, they're all equal in their treatment.
Right.
Like sort of, I don't know. It's kind of like an impulse. It's
Mhm.
just kind of like implied that you wouldn't just play things plain. You would like embellish them as much as
Right.
possible, really, to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
beautify this phrase.
Right.
They all
Totally.
do it. They all do it differently.
They
And
all
they're
do
all
it. Yeah.
equally difficult to replicate and pick up on.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah. It's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. From myself, like I found, again, being Persian musician, hearing Turkish and Arabic music, some things from the way that like Turkish melody or the phrases, like it clicked with me.
Yeah.
And then other things were completely foreign. And then
Yeah.
some things from Arabic music, like the tuning and the range of the instrument, and some things there were like, okay, I get that. But then there's again another realm that was like completely foreign.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to hear that they all kind of like all these traditions are kind of equally as profound or as developed as each other.
Yeah.
And but just in different ways or different experience with each of them.
Yeah, and that's like one of my favorite things about the oud. It's like
Yeah.
the pipa is only playing Chinese music. The shamisen is only
Right.
playing Japanese music. The oud is playing Turkish, Persian,
There you go.
Arabic, many
Yeah.
other cultures. I've even heard it in like Greek music.
There you
The
go.
Moroccan
Yeah.
style of playing is very different than the Iraqi style of
Mhm.
playing.
Yeah.
There's so much variety within just the
It's
oud.
very rich.
And you can, the way that Turkish musicians play the oud is so different than the way Persian musicians and Arabic musicians, and they're
Yeah.
so closely located, which is what's
Yeah.
so interesting to me. But they're unmistakable from each other. Like for me, there's zero doubt if I hear a musician, I'll be able to tell you where they're from or they play it
Yeah,
so
yeah.
differently. There's
Cool.
just certain
Yeah.
techniques that they just don't, that nobody else does. Like
Yeah.
the vibrato of the Persian oud. This is like
Mhm.
Mansour Nariman style, where
Right.
he's just openly just right hand rees the whole time.
Mhm.
Whereas like in Turkish oud, there's lots of sliding. They're going to be sliding way up the neck, which hardly ever happens in Persian music.
Right.
And Arabic music has so many just tiny little
Mhm.
left hand oscillations.
Yeah. Tiny. Yeah. So many. Like I still like from one region to another, it's like night and day almost.
Yeah.
For me, it's the golf players. The in the Gulf, that region is the most, I guess, fascinating to me because the accent with their left hand and the way they glide around the neck
Really?
is just something that I don't know, other oud regions don't really have, and
I haven't
just tickles
really-
me. I love it.
I would love to hear what you're talking about. I don't really know much about that side of the world. You're talking about like Bahrain and Qatar.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, all this Gulf area, Yemen too.
Yeah.
But that whole that whole area, that's I guess the most fascinating for me personally. But if you look up guys like,
because I have to know about this now.
Yeah, look up guys like people that you can see their oud playing a lot, like Abadi Al Jahar.
He's from there. I know him very well.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
So like, I mean, he does some showy stuff for the crowds and stuff like that's not really is so profound, like the flamenco-ish chords and stuff.
Yeah,
but the subtle stuff that he does when he's singing and playing ouds, just the way they glide, the left hand is just mesmerizing for me.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of like kind of, I don't know, no name kind of players that you just see on YouTube. Just they've got their localized way that they play, and it's just charming. I love it.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
This is like the Bahrain style oud. Is that high F tuned?
I see the Gulf players play mostly C to C, but you know, the high F is gaining popularity. So
yeah,
I know that guys like Abdul Majid Abdullah, a Saudi musician, I know he uses high F.
Mm-hmm.
But Abadi uses 5 courses only. He doesn't use the low bass string. He just used the high C and the F.
Yeah.
And because some of the Gulf music, they need that drone, the G drone, so they tune their F string to a G often.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see, they'll just need that drone in there too. Yeah. They always have to rhythmically go back and forth to that bass pedal.
Interesting.
Tone. So
they're kind of treating it like a sitar. Yeah. Like I said, they're just like leaving that drone string open.
Yeah,
that's interesting. There's so many different ways of playing the oud. It's fascinating, you know. If in another life, I would just like study this academically at a university or something. Just devote my life to like mapping oud.
Yeah, that leads me to the next question. Like, do you have any tips for people who want to learn oud specifically or Middle Eastern music? What are some like things you would recommend them do, or like if you were to do it all over again, what would you do differently? Any tips like that? Just as a kind of last question, because I'm running out of time now.
Oh yeah. I would just give them a list of names of musicians to listen to. So Salman Shaheen, Munir Bashir, Farid Al-Atrash, Sunbati, you know, all these beloved oud players of yesterday. I mean, Salman Shaheen's still alive, but just all of my favorite oud players, I would just already know their names and not have to discover them for the first time if I could do it all over again. And I think it would be helpful to know that what we just said, that there's so many different styles and varieties that it can be overwhelming when you're first starting out. You're like, well, what's what? You know, what's the way to play the oud? And it's like, there isn't one. You mix them together as you would, you know, as you can, or pick one and go with it. You know,
and there's proof you can learn without a teacher, like you did, you know.
I
mean, with observing, listening.
Yes, it helps to like really get into this subject of active listening, where you're not it's not just playing in your ear and you're doing other things. Your mind and your attention is like solely focused on what is being played. You know, that's crucial to being able to teach yourself how to play the music. Very cool. And that's a skill I think that's kind of learned and picked up. It's kind of something that, because music is just kind of something that kind of goes in the background a lot of times in culture. You know, it's just like on the radio or in the car or whatever. But like stopping the world around you and listening to it really intently is, I think, a foreign concept to some people.
Right. Yeah, and we do it less and less now with busy lives and everything. Like. I don't know the last time that I just sat down and like closed my eyes and listened to music, just because life is so busy. I mean, usually like the car is where I listen to music, where I really have time to focus, because I'm just automatically driving, and then turn up the volume and just like listen as I I pass by.
No, that's definitely, I do the same thing. You know, I also walk a lot, so I just have headphones in and just absorbing what's going on, you know, listening to the same piece multiple times really
Yeah.
ingrains it into your memory, and so you can kind of
Yeah.
then when you have your instrument in your hand, you like have it in your mind, and so it comes out more
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You
Super
can
good
play your
tip. Yeah.
instrument without having your instrument in your hand. Is a
That's
little
true.
secret hack.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard there's some science behind that too. It's like if you vision yourself doing something, it's your brain interprets it as actually having done it, or and the neural networks are kind of
Yeah,
getting more solidified as you do that.
So interesting to me. Like it's just
Yeah.
like yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Any last comments? What we're gonna do is definitely have like some links to your social media and anything.
Cool.
If you have a YouTube channel and you post stuff, we'll definitely have that so people can listen to you. I'd love to ask you to play something, but I'm running out of time, so I think it's best that people just go to you to hear your music and what you do with music.
That'd be great.
And and any last comments or anything like that for people listening?
No, I just want to say thanks for everything that you've done. You've been, a teacher to me in some capacity. I've definitely learned things from your channel, especially
Cool.
some of
I'm glad.
your more educational videos. I've definitely watched those, years ago, and they were very helpful to me.
Happy to hear it.
You're in Japan, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you ever seen some traditional Japanese music, like on the shamisen or something like that? And
yeah, I have. I've been. If I had more time, I would like seek out more musicians to play and do like oud with traditional Japanese instruments locally. And I would really love to work with shakuhachi player perhaps, and do something very meditative. Something very deep, requiring deep listening kind of thing, and just I would love to do something like that. Just need to just sort out life and make some time for these kind of projects, right? And get out there. But yeah, for sure.
I used to have a radio show where I would play this kind of music here on my local radio station, and I had an episode that I called Japanistan, where it was musicians playing Middle Eastern music, which there's a lot of.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah,
there's a lot of Japanese oud players, sitar players.
There are, yes.
It's definitely one of the most like fusion. There's not very many Iranian musicians playing Japanese music or something like that.
True. You're right.
So Japan is kind of embracing this like multicultural aspect of their modern day situation, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, they're into everything. You name it, they're into it too. You can find it.
I've seen concerts that take place in Japan. I know the Suresh Ranai.
Yes, yeah.
He lives in Japan and he plays in Japan a lot. And there's lots of Turkish musicians that live in Japan and play concerts there, and I'm just like, that's so cool. Like, yeah,
it's unfortunate for me. I'm a little bit out in the boonies, so.
Oh, are you?
I'm a little out from the cities, so I don't get that much exposure to it. But it's out there. It definitely is.
Yeah, it's super cool. I was surprised to see that there was so many Arabic, like Turkish, Persian, style bands that are composed entirely of Japanese people, which was just so cool.
Yeah, I've got to play with do a few concerts with some musicians here, and they really, when they learn something, they learn it right. They learn it correctly. Yeah, and they really try to do justice to something that they're learning and taking seriously. So it's always a pleasure to experience people like that.
I would love to hear someone sort of play Makam style music on a shamisen, since it's fretless and it has all these. It has the same sort of vibe as an oud. Yeah, but with a long neck.
One day,
so.
One day you will hear it. I'm sure.
Yes. I've tried. It's very difficult. Maybe someday I'll put more effort into it and put something out.
Yeah, I'd love to hear. Yeah, very cool. Well, I wish I could talk longer, but I got to run.
That's fine.
This has been fantastic. I really appreciate you making the time to do this, and wish you all the best with your next project. And
Yeah, thanks, Naveed. Yeah, same to
No,
you.
Thank you as well.
On all your music.
All
stuff.
right.
It's great.
All right. Thanks so much.
See ya.
You can follow Chris at his website, which is down in the description. Make sure you follow him on YouTube and on his social media channels. If you like this video, we've got more interviews at the link on the screen and in the description. Thanks and see you next time.